Nitwittians, we got an awesome video in store for you this evening. I normally don't do these, but we have an HP Omen gracing us with its presence, and we are going to do an awesome unboxing. We're going to go through this thing, and we are going to do some gaming, some benchmarks. We're going to see how long of a graphics card can fit inside of her, and this bad mamma jam is going to get put through its paces. I'm going to give it either a thumbs up, no thumbs up, or 2 thumbs up. That's usually how I rate stuff, so Nitwittians, stick with me, and we're going to get this box open. Alright guys, let's pull this thing out of the box. So we're going to have to unclip these guys. It's a pretty cool design. I had a TV once like this. There's 4 of them. And of course, my ceiling's not tall enough, so I'm going to have to lay her on her side. Some of you might want to just do this on the floor. It's definitely going to make it easier. Because the way I got to pull this apart is ghetto. Because I got to do it for y'all. I wish I had it. You know what? I have to kind of see if I can scoot the PC out. Yeah, it's supposed to be on the floor and you pull straight up. I do like the packaging as I see so far. I'm going to measure the packaging because that's kind of important. It's, the difference of you getting a good PC and you getting a broken PC. So, something you don't see because I didn't cut the top of the box. This is at the top of the case. And there's a power cable in there. I already have one routed on here. All right, so it looks like we have, measure it real quick, almost 2 inches of cardboard space from the side. And what are we gonna say? 2 inches from the top. So 2 inches of buffer around the whole thing. So even if you got a dented in case, and of course, if you got a mouse and a keyboard, it's gonna be at that top. So if you're, you pull the case up and you're like, where's all my, they're on the top. So go ahead, slice the box open if you have to after you pull the PC out. Of course, this is kind of a heavier PC because it's got glass on it. And it's also, anytime you have liquid cooling in a PC, makes it a little bit heavier. And there's a 240 millimeter AIO in this thing. And it's got a really nifty design. I will give it to HP. They really thought about this when they built this thing. So here's the unveil. A pretty looking computer. Nice Omen styling right there, Cryo Chamber. And there is this panel that you can kind of lay down if you want to put it on its side to bust her open. We do got some gapping here in the front. I don't know if that's going to be substantial if you want to add fans for cooling. It looks like it's 3/8 of an inch of a gap by, I'm going to say 16 inches up and down. This is rocking a 5800X Ryzen 7 CPU. This thing is a pretty nice CPU. It's a 3.8 gigahertz processor with boosts up to 4.7. There's 32 megabytes of L3 cache and 8 cores and 16 thread monster. Of course, this door does look like it might swing open, but I don't think it does. Oh, maybe it does for cleaning purposes. Yeah, there you go. I know not everybody does this, but there's 2 buttons right here. And this allows you to pull this off so you can clean this front panel. This front panel is removable. As you can see, it comes off. And of course, we see our RGB fans. It's going to look awfully pretty once we turn this thing on. Of course, we are not there yet. Okay, so that's how you take off the front panel. It does kind of swing like a door. There's 2 little latches here. Just make sure there's plastic bags out of our way. And it swings up and clasps in. So now we are going to turn to the side, and you can see the beautiful glass panel and the 45L styling. Right there. She is bolstering a nice glass side panel. And of course the Cryo Chamber, which it has internal access right here. And this will actually pop your front panel glass out. There's a button right up top. It swings kind of like a door and it pulls up, and that is the side panel glass off. And of course this does bolster a 240 millimeter AIO. I know I already said that this will fit up to 360 millimeter AIO in here. And this is the Omen Cryo Chamber. You can buy this case just by itself if you like the styling and you're like, I don't want any of the HP stuff. You can just get this case by itself. And I will say it does kind of make a difference splitting these two. I'm surprised HP came up with this, but it's a really good, engineering decision. Also, guys, if you're wondering, like, hey, you're doing a lot of unboxings, Technit, we're going to be doing a lot more, so stay tuned. PCs and maybe some laptops if we find some good deals. So this thing will bolster, it will support a Ryzen 9 5900X, that's a 12-core, 24-thread processor. This has an RTX 3060 12GB GDR6 dedicated VRAM, and this is a low hash rate card. Of course, this does support 4 display ports, or sorry, 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port. And of course, you see that right there, 1 HDMI, best for like your TV, because most TVs still support HDMI, and then you got your display ports. We got 3 audio ports right here, microphone and auxiliary and a headphones. Sorry, no auxiliary, then headphones. A 10-1000 Ethernet NIC, 2 USB 3.0s, USB 10 gigabit per second USB-C, and then 2 more high-speed 5 gigabyte per second 3.0 ports, and another USB-C port. And of course, there are expansion ports. This will support up to an ATX motherboard. The motherboard in here is not an ATX, it's a micro ATX. So there's one thing I can take some of the top off, but I'm gonna lay it on its side first. And if we come here to the top, and we look at our ports, and lay her on her side for you guys. So we do got another headphones jack, a microphones jack, and so we got 2 3.0 high-speed ports and another 2 USB 2.0s. Our power button. And then of course, if we reach right here, we have a grill that just pops straight off, and then you got access to your AIO. And you got your different configurations of screw patterns. If you're to put a 360, a 120, I don't know why anybody would put a 120 in here. I'd stick with a 240 or above. And of course, this is just a plastic grill that snaps on and off. And there are 2 little tabs here, and you kind of just press down and it snaps in. Let's do the bottom. I do like Omen. They paid attention to detail. They did put a screen down here with magnets on it, so it keeps your power supply, which is an 800 watt, 80 plus power supply, keeps it nice and clean. This is an ATX standard hole in the back here. It will take any ATX power supplies you want to throw at this thing. The 800 watt power supply is, yeah, I don't know. There's been some reviewers that have not given it such good reviews, but for what it's doing in here, it gets the job done. Of course, I'm gonna lift it up on its side, and we're gonna remove this panel right here just to take a look at the back. And there is no sound dampening, but they did paint it. And if we look here, we can now see our storage. A couple things I haven't talked about with storage, which we'll get around to the front, I will talk about. You got 2 SSD trays right here and 2 HDD trays that are quick hot swappable. They just fold open, you put your hard drive in here, and there are holes for if you wanted to put 4 SSDs in this bad mamma jamma. And if we come up here, we have our RGB controller. Have all the RGB goodness right there. It is a Coolmaster ATX power supply. So I don't know why some people have said bad things about Coolmaster power supplies. They're usually pretty good. I never had issues with them. They are on the cheaper side, but they usually get the job done. And let's get into the guts of her. So one nice thing I didn't mention about this is I take this off with this internal access right here. So you press down and pull forward, and it pops right out. This thing will support a 3090, which is quite nice, or a 6900 XT, the AMD variant of that card. There is a giant support here. It is kind of goofy. There's some screws there and it pops on out, but they did provide 2 8-pin cables right here, which is kind of nice. They are, you know, tucked away right in here. We do have RGB HyperX or Kingston HyperX memory, which is nice of them, and the Omen styling. So we do have some light on this Omen block. It is specially designed. One nice feature about this micro ATX board is it does support up to 2 M.2 SSDs, and the third one is for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth only. HP does include a Wi-Fi 6 card with Bluetooth capability. So as you can see, this is a standard ATX power supply plug going to the HP Omen board, and most of the plugs going here are just standard. So if you're just like, I'm gonna buy this HP, get it at a good sale price because this thing is on sale right now, and then down the road I want to throw a new motherboard in it, it's compatible, guys. It's one nice thing I will say about what HP is doing. They are leaning more towards being able to upgrade their PCs. They are learning from past mistakes. Thank you, HP. Now you guys just got to get rid of the e-waste and some of the other proprietary nonsense on the smaller computers, and you guys will be hitting it on the nail. So guys, we do have a 120 millimeter fan here in the rear and 2 or 3 120 millimeter fans in the front. This will support 5.1 surround sound, DTS X Ultra. One other thing it does have a 1-year warranty and a 90-day phone support from HP. I'm going to talk about bloatware too. It's something I didn't mention in the beginning, but there is some stuff we need to talk about on here. I would not remove the Omen Hub because it does allow you to control the fans and the lighting, and it does a decent job of it. Other than that, I will have to say so far I'm very impressed with the Omens. Usually I think they're overpriced proprietary pieces of wonderfulness. I'm really happy with this thing so far. But all right guys, we're gonna measure to see what the length is for GPU size, and we're gonna go from the edge to the outside, and wow, we're looking at 15 1/8. So most 3090s are gonna fit in here. If you're wondering about the Z-Waves bracket, this is mainly for shipping so the GPU doesn't break off. And I dislike that there's a T5 on there. There is a flathead on there, but the way you have to do it is kind of janky. So I'm gonna do it on camera really quick. You gotta take the 2 Phillips off here. And the T5 was really tight for me. And honestly, if you get a non-Omen GPU in here, it's probably going to have RGB, and you're not going to want this bracket on here anyways. If you do get a 3090, this bracket's probably going to be in your way. So it's kind of like one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't moments. And okay, now I just used a number 2 Phillips or a number 1 Phillips, and you're going to switch to a T5 Torx head, and you have to stick this in there, and then you have to snap it forward. And it's like, I don't know if you can look and see that on camera, but have you ever seen a power strip where you put like screws in the wall and then you have that weird where it never lines up and then you snap it down? Well, that's what they did. So of course we do have a giant plastic e-waste, a little bit of a negative for HP, but so far it's so good. The expansion ports on here, you do have an extra 1X port down here. I am gonna go ahead and take the GPU out, and as you can see here, we do have our 2 8-pin connections, which is really nice that they're right there. And we don't have anything plugged in the back, so we can go ahead and take these 2 screws off. But before that, I always like to unsnap this, pull the power and snap the little latch right here. Latch is snapped. Go ahead and get number 1, and there we go. Our GPU is free, like in itself, and you're gonna pull straight back out, and our GPU is out. So some of the GPUs I've been seeing, they put a plastic backplate on them, and it's like, why? Why even put a backplate? Just leave nothing on there. It's gonna be better for cooling. Of course, we come to the front here, and we do have 2 fans that spin. Nothing neat about them. There's some kind of neat design on here, and on the side it just says GeForce RTX, and that is our wonderful RTX 3060. All right, so now that I have the GPU out, you can easily see here, here's your 16X port, and here is your PCI Express 4.01 port. And as you see here, we do have 4 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports. There's a cable going here, so HP did give you 1. They do have some wire management here, but it looks like none of the wires are actually on the wire management, which is kind of goofy. That right there. And of course, so if you wanted to add 3 more, either 2 more hard drives and 1 more SSD, that would fit in here. Or if you wanted to add 3 more SSDs, you do have compatibility for that. As you can see, here's our other M.2 slot. Here's our Bluetooth Wi-Fi card. And yeah, then of course we got our AIO. They do have some got some power management cooling, which is nice to see. And if you're wondering what this is your BIOS beeper and your battery. Something you probably never need to mess with. But anyways, guys, we're gonna get on to doing some benchmarks in gaming, and we're gonna go through the bloatware. And let's see where we land. The one thing I will mention is remove McAfee. Remove it right away. That'll be a red one, but we're gonna go red, white, and blue. Red being the worst, white being the second, and blue being the you can really decide. Really, with all the software, you can decide, but I would say remove McAfee. That's the one that's the worst. Alright guys, something I wanted to quick show you. You're going to go ahead, and if you have a keyboard that's compact like this, go ahead and hold the FN key down and tap F10, go to your start menu, hit restart. But otherwise, that's going to get you the Omen setup utility. And there is some stuff in here, and you want to go down to the advanced, not exit, cancel. Tech nitwit, don't be nitwit. And of course, you got memory profiles. I'm guessing AMP profile is like XMP, but you can also do default profile if you want. And that's just going to put it to whatever the default memory profile is, and you have custom profile, and this will actually let you select a speed. Of course, you can bump your memory up to 3800, 3700, 3550, whatever you want. And then it opens up cast latency stuff, and you can do all cast latency stuff. You can do your timing, you know, pretty much everything, even your memory voltage. So HP did kind of open that up for you guys, and yeah. Alright guys, as we near towards the end here, I do want to show off the really cool RGB. As you can see, this thing's got some quick, cool options. Let's go into the Omen Hub really quick. Let's jump on over to the on-screen. And you're going to click this little orange and yellow doohickey triangle. It's going to take like forever to load. Well, maybe not. It was before. But I want to go to something that I want to show you guys, this Omen Desktop right here. And you got system vitals, overclocking, network boost. I would leave the network boost alone. You can mess with the overclocking if you want, but something I want to point out here is lighting. Of course, this is where all your lighting options are if you want to change stuff, if you want to increase cycle, decrease cycle, and I just had an error. Now, there's a very good reason why I would have this error. I just went into this full bowl not thinking about, hey, maybe I should update the firmware and drivers. Well, they're not updated. So I'm happy that actually happened because it did it before. And I want to showcase this if you're like, hey, TechNet, why is my RGB messing up? Why is it not working well? Go ahead and close your Omen Hub. If you want to fix the lights, you're going to have to restart the PC. But something we need to do, we need to go into Windows and hit update. And there's going to actually be firmware updates in there, driver updates, and all sorts of stuff like that. One key thing you want to do is check the NVIDIA drivers, make sure they are up to date. It's going to matter for performance. So as you're in the start menu, just come in here and hit and just type in update. Check for updates. And you can see that we do have some updates. I already did this once, and I'm going to do this again because it needs it again. And so, of course, right now I can't install these because it's already installing, but you'd come and hit this blue button, and it's going to turn gray installing, and it's probably going to ask you to restart your PC, and we're going to start from there. Other than that, guys, I was really surprised with the performance, with the lighting, with the ambience about this. And one thing I missed on my unboxing, I'm going to pop this little guy off here, and I didn't even see this till late. But if you want to lock these two side panels, there is a little lock key right here. The one crappy thing is it is a T5, T15 Torx head. And you're going to have to unscrew it, pull it up, and screw it back in, and it locks these panels. Alright guys, other than that, I give this 2 thumbs up approval. I really didn't like the Omens. I had a lot of reservations against them because just with this name, they would upcharge $300, $400, $500 when you could go get the same PC for hundreds of dollars less. But this thing's on sale right now. Take a look, go on HP, Walmart, Best Buy, even Amazon might have it. They sometimes do, they sometimes don't. It's on sale, and you can get this thing for under $1,600, $1,500, even lower if you wait for sales, and it's worth it. If you're looking for a gaming PC, it's gonna get you there. Hey guys, it's TechNetwood here. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and hit that bell. Thanks.